GM Farcaster, we've got an exciting announcement to kick off today's show, and we'd like to extend our sincere gratitude to Snickerdoodle, our premier sponsor. Thanks to their support, we're thrilled to introduce our brand new educational series, Farcaster 101. Starting this Wednesday, we're launching a comprehensive 12-part webinar series designed to help brands navigate and thrive in the world of Farcaster. Whether you're new to decentralized social media or looking to up your game, Farcaster 101 has you covered. Stay tuned for more details, and thank you again to Snickerdoodle. GM Farcaster, it is Monday, October 21st, and you are here with Nounish, Prof, and Adrian for 29 minutes of Farcaster News to start today. And at the top, you heard we have a little bit of an announcement. It's something we've been planning for a while, and we haven't had a chance to fully talk about it yet. We've kind of teased it here and there, but we are launching a Farcaster 101. It will launch on Wednesday, so you'll start seeing some clips and some announcements coming later today, and we're really excited about it. So we starting with like the basics and how to actually set up an account, and then going to frames, and then going from there. So it's going to be pretty comprehensive. And yeah, what else do I have to say about it, Adrian? Anything else that I missed?
No, you said it all. It's going to be, I'm excited to drop it. And in addition, so it's a series of kind of webinars that walk new people through like just the basics of what is Farcaster. We do demos, and then we're also doing live office hours, because I think a lot of people have said as they're joining, it's like how helpful it was to have a friend, like for the little questions. So we're going to be that friend, and hopefully we see a nice little bump of people joining and brands joining.
Yeah.
Because we don't like brands anywhere but Farcaster, apparently.
We like brands. We like brand interns. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. Links is new and says Links is new and says this will be a real big help to him. No, it won't. But okay. You can teach it,
will be
so probably not.
And I don't know who this is, but I'm pulling it up on the screen, and I'm going to leave it up the entire episode. This guy, Al, in the comments says, tell me you're a boomer without telling me you're a boomer by calling it a webinar. Okay. I have nothing to say to that.
Okay. All righty then. Moving on, let's get rolling. Of course, I didn't have this ready to go. We have a few things to chat about today. We got some stuff happening, but I'm going to start with this little fun pick from our friend Greg, and what I can only assume is some good bread. But it was just a little GM. It caught my eye. I actually should have made this my background today, and I forgot. So wanted to show that. And this from Alina Perry. This is some Groundhog Day Monday, Nounish Prof. And I went, what are you talking about? And then I looked at the cast, and I may have done a little copy pasta and forgot to make some changes there. So no, we will actually be on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, not just Monday, and Monday.
What's beautiful is I recasted it and didn't pick up that it said Monday. I will call you. I will call you out live on the air right now that our Friday episode is titled Wednesday.
Oh, Lord help me. I can't even.
But I didn't want to tell you because it's on chain, and then it requires, it's not as easy to change. So I'm just leaving it.
I do this often. These things happen.
You got the date right.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough. Oh, look, it says September 27th too. Okay, so just ignore everything that's in there. I'm going to change that whole entire thing. But at least I'm calling out my mistakes because Alina did. So thanks, Alina. I actually tipped her some teaching for that. Moving on. Public mode.
Blame it on the hurricane, I guess.
I'm going to blame everything on the hurricane for the next month. So there you go. By the way, FYI, my power's gone out 3 more times today. So this morning, we're just hopefully it's going to stay steady for the rest of the show, but we'll see. Okay, so public mode is now live. This is from DWR. Public mode allows non-members to cast in the channel. Member casts always appear in the channel feed. Non-member casts will sometimes appear in the channel feed. You can always make someone a member of your channel to guarantee they appear in the main feed. Channel owners have the option to turn on/off public mode. Farcaster and /Warpcast are now in public mode. And what I would recommend before you turn this on is go look at Farcaster and Warpcast channels. Scroll through, see how you feel about the feed, and then decide whether to turn it on. The other option, which I would highly recommend looking at if you're a channel owner, is ModBot, which is a little expanded take on AutoMod from JTGI, but it's now being run by, I forget the name. But ModBot is really helpful.
Haole?
Yes,
Haole?
yes. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yes, that sounds correct. And you have some broad options in there to gate your channel. So you can gate it to essentially what it thinks what it thinks humans are. Right? So it can gate it to humans and things like that. So I would recommend maybe tackling that option first, because otherwise you may see quite a bit of spam in your channel. But on that note, DGen is now a public channel. GM DGens, hope you had an epic weekend. We're starting the week by enabling public mode in the DGen channel. What could go wrong? Now everyone can post in DGen, but as always, member posts will be featured in the feed, with a few select non-member posts also shown. And then this from Johnny Mac. Memes is now in public mode. Anyone can cast in the channel. Paid members are eligible to receive $5 USDC tips based on engagement. It's time to fuck around and find out, was his meme for this one, which using practical magic, which I appreciated, as the base of the meme. So we'll see how this all works out. But based on what I've seen so far, like I said, maybe think about it before you hit that public mode. It will change things. You may like that, you may not.
Yeah, or try it and take it back when you decide you don't want it.
If it's not working out. Yeah, if it's not working out, you can always take it back. There are some ways to just make it a little broad. You can make a very broad selection, so you're not limiting your channel too much, but also hopefully combating some spam. And that's what I think is probably the best thought there. You don't have to charge people. There are free options.
So maybe an option also is give something to the critics who said channels are gated too much. No one can get in. We want our hashtags back. So
we'll see how that goes. And I do think some of the broader channels should have broader entry points, but it doesn't necessarily mean public mode. But I do think it should be like pretty broad to make it easy for most people to join, while hopefully limiting a little bit of spam. And also just thinking about, like, I'm sure public mode makes it much easier on the mods because they're not getting inundated with requests and all of that. But I don't know. Well, I'm a little skeptical on this. We'll see how it goes. But because if you and you may not realize, if you don't have a channel, you may say, oh, well, isn't this just going back to what we had? Not really, because there were two feeds. If you had a moderator on your channel, there was a main feed and a recent feed. Then the recent feed can only be seen by the mod. And then the main feed, if you liked the posts in the recent feed, it would shift over to the main feed. So there was some protection there. It was mostly, just the moderators who were seeing most of the spam. So just, we'll see how this plays out. This from Horsefacts, PSA, I'm enabling public mode, leaving my apartment. So new meme unlocked. Public mode is now a thing. It's like founder mode, but not. There you go. I did not enter public mode much this weekend. I mostly was on my computer. This from V. This was from last week that we just didn't get to on Friday. Worse is better is a good principle when thinking about adding to the Farcaster protocol. Too often, the discussions veers to making the feature more generic to support hypothetical use cases. What often happens is the extra feature gets low usage. Every developer building a client now has a tax. Some developers don't pay the tax and ignore the feature. The feature isn't well supported and no one uses it, and just creates a bunch of ongoing debt for everyone. The goal for every feature should be adoption. If no one can guarantee the feature will be adopted after it is implemented, we probably shouldn't ship it. There are some cases where generic costs just as much as the specific. Frames and mini apps are good examples where it was a better trade-off to make the building block as flexible as possible. But these tend to be the exception. Many features get significantly more expensive to integrate with as they become generic. Okay, thoughts on this? Because this felt like something I wanted to ask you, because this feels like your area, your wheelhouse. So what do you think about this worse is better sort of thinking?
Well, to start off, I think the worse is better is a little baity because it's like, what does that mean? I don't totally buy the worse. I think he's just talking about maybe it's like I don't know, just their opinion on terms of why they don't, or kind of when and how to add to the protocol. Because
I
once
guess
something is in
another
the
way to put it might be like the best is enemy of the good, where if you're striving for perfection, maybe you miss out on some of like the good things, but maybe it's not
yeah,
exactly
well,
that.
I think it's
Yeah.
I think he's giving explanation for when and how things are added to the protocol, and developers are very famous for not wanting to paint themselves in a corner. So it's like you want to make things really flexible so that so it can support future use cases. So um, the the tendency is to like, okay, we're going to build something that is net new behavior. Like, let's just take frames for example. Like maybe in the beginning it was really simple, you couldn't transact with them. And I think Varun is saying it's like we actually want things really, really specific. We don't want to come up with well, if we can make it less specific, it'll be general, and then people can extend it. But it ends up, if it's not like specific and opinionated, then people don't know what to do with it, and then it doesn't get adopted. And
Yeah.
then it
Okay.
dies
That
the
makes sense.
protocol. Like, so they only want to add things to the protocol if it is actually super useful and used. The flip side of that, though, is you have a small number of people contributing to the protocol. So when you can make things super generic, you can have devs everywhere kind of, effing around and finding out and experimenting and trying new things. So it's just a little bit of that kind of push and pull. But I think they're just saying there's a reason they tend to be a little more opinionated. And this is also the reason why I think channels have not been what they call decentralized. Everyone's always like, oh, it's still
Yeah.
centralized. Yes, it's because they haven't figured out what's the very specific definition of a channel to actually put in the protocol.
Yeah.
And because as soon as something is in the protocol, it becomes much harder to change because now it's, now you need consensus and people start building on it. So I understand
Right.
I think what he's saying. I still just don't know what he means by worse is better, but he got me to read the cast. So good job.
So good baiting. All right. Good baiting, Varun. Fantastic.
And like,
I
and
did
by
think
the
it
way,
was
and I don't
interesting.
even,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess there's an XKCD for everything past the salt. I don't know that one, Al. So send the link for that one.
All right. I didn't understand half of that, but okay.
Oh,
Over
yeah.
optimizing is a dev trait. Yeah, I saw that one. That feels like yeah, that feels right. Um, and speaking of maybe worse is better or better is worse, I don't know. Back to lurking around on WC again. Seems like there's a lot less spam now, or maybe I've just been away too long. And that was from Madsky. No, you were correct. There is been a lot of taming of the spam. And this from Toe, a lot has changed since I was last on here. Channel's completely different. People get boosted now, but people still building, and seems like the vibe is alive and well. Good things coming for Warpcast. Welcome back, TCW. Where you been? And this from Elemi. Whoa, so many new buttons and Twitter connections. Team is cooking hard on UI. Love it. So there's folks who, and we saw this last week with Board, who was like, what happened? Why do I have requests from people who want to be in my channel? So this is going to continue to happen when you've had some big changes and people sort of disappear for a couple weeks, come back and they're like, huh? But it's good that mostly what we're seeing is some positive responses to that. So that
I
to
saw a
me is a good
ton.
sign.
Yeah,
Did
for
you
some
really?
reason, and we pulled a few of these, but these weren't
Yeah.
even all. It seemed like over the weekend, I saw a ton of people either new or kind of coming back
Yeah.
and with, dare I say, positive feedback about the experience and
Fantastic.
noticing changes. Like, it's hard for us to even, I mean, obviously we know things are changing because that's what we talk about 3 times a week for
Constantly.
29 minutes. But
Yeah.
even still, as like a user, I don't feel these crazy changes, and
Right.
they all seem like they've been there forever. So it is funny to see people come back, and I love the positivity, and I promise no politics talk, and we try to stay focused on Farcaster and not focus on other platforms because we don't want Farcaster to be not, something else. But I think we may, I don't know, prediction is that I think we're going to see more people coming back. If you have a Farcaster account, maybe you haven't been active, coming back in to see what's happening here. So people,
Maybe
cast good
escaping
content.
other platforms that are maybe getting a tad toxic leading up to, I don't know, a certain day, like 18 days from now, or something like that. So yeah, I can see that. That makes a lot of sense that people would start to slide back in. Okay, let me go check out what's going over there. Is it as bad as this? No, it's
Yeah.
not. Come
So
on over. Yeah,
I think call to action to everyone, like just cast good content so that when
please.
people come, they'll stick around.
They'll
And
stick around. We love that. Oh, yeah, and Lemmy got, he's left Dune as well. I saw that posted somewhere. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing now, but he is moving on to something new. This from Christopher. We need to get more academics on Farcaster. And then Wake said, why would they come? For the tiny text, of course. If you miss something, if this does not make sense to you, why Christopher suddenly thinks we need more academics on Farcaster. Spoiler, no, we do not. But it is in relation to this. So this is from Phil, and this was last week. Welcome, a wild idea man. I was like, what does this say? Wild idea man. Robin Hanson is a professor of economics at GMU, blogger at Overcoming Bias, and one of the leading experts and thinkers around behind prediction markets. He has agreed to do an AMA for the Books channel, Reply with Your Questions, and it was interesting. I do not know him at all, so this was like totally new to me, but I thought it was really interesting. First, when you read through some of his answers relating to prediction markets and that he sees no crypto use case there, which I thought was very interesting considering that Polymarket is the biggest prediction market at this moment. So there was that, but then there was also he did not care for our platform at all. At all. He was not a
but he
happy
was so
camper.
kind. He was so kind to give feedback
He
because
did.
feedback is a gift.
He
And
did give quite a bit of
he,
feedback.
and thank you, Wild Idea Man.
So wild idea. I will read this part. This is the first time I've used this app. I don't like it. First, it demands access to all my photos, which I have not gone through the initial flow in a while, and I don't recall that. So maybe
It,
that was true.
it it's hard to believe it demands access because I can't imagine a flow
Yeah.
that doesn't make it optional. And I don't know,
I'm
maybe it
guessing
does.
it's maybe when he was putting his profile picture in. I'm not sure.
Oh,
Um, that's the only thing I can think of.
maybe. Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. That was the only thing I could think of. Now the font is
They
crazy
probably don't even say
tiny.
please. It's
They may not say please. Now and then he went on to say, now the font is crazy tiny, and I see no way to change that. Finally, each time I edit, it hides everything else while I'm editing. Also, the screen doesn't seem to refresh when stuff is added. Do I have to log out and in again to get it to refresh? So it was more like the pulling down. So some of this stuff was very, very good feedback, I have to say. Like there are things that we have become used to because we're on here every day that I'm like, yeah, that is kind of weird. When I think about it, like the refresh thing is pretty similar to other platforms, but some of the other things aren't very obvious. He also mentioned like the double when you cast something, you get that second screen that allows you to undo. But if you don't realize that's what it's for, because there is no editing feature after the fact, that may not be obvious. So, with some good, interesting feedback, but it also led to some pretty funny memes. So now tiny text might make more sense if you did not know what Christopher was talking about. So yeah, so there was that. Moving on, this from July. I just love this. Keep it weird because weird means different, and usually it's off the beaten path. Not so weird. It's outright creepy or dangerous or evil, but also not goody two shoes either. The world of following what others think you should be and what you think is safe is boring. Why join the Navy when you can be a pirate? So I did go and cast this in nouns because keep nouns weird is a common saying for us. And if these do lend themselves to weirdness. So there you go.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't like this cast.
You did like this cast, really?
It's too much pressure. Like, how do I know where the boundaries are between weird enough but not too weird?
Weird and creepy. Here, I'm going to give you
hard to be just the right amount of weird, and I don't know if I'm doing a good enough job.
Just be you. I think we are enough. We are just the right amount of weird. We do a morning show all about Farcaster. If that's not weird, I don't know what is.
Like I don't know. Why join a SaaS company when you can join the Navy? Maybe.
There you go. There you go. Well, I liked it.
And I appreciate you, Erica, who has informed me I'm in an acceptable amount of weird.
Yes, I agree. I agree. She's the perfect amount of weird. She is I am definitely the weirder of the two of us. That is for sure.
I'll let you take that title.
Definitely get that one. This is from Ted. Who here is interested in health tech like Heckers or Neuroroad? 2, celebrity gossip, pop culture, guilty pleasure. 3, interior design, architectural digest. 4, social sciences, a la Rob Henderson. And these in their actual sense, not the intersection of 1 to 5 in crypto. What she went on to do was to create the Guiltypop channel. So welcome to Guiltypop, a place to indulge in our guilty pleasure of pop culture and celebrity gossip, current things that are living rent-free in my head, OG lifestyle influencer, Ospen Ovar, TikTok tier. I have no idea what that is. Maybe Tear. Predictions on who will be people's sexiest man of the year. I'm going with the dude from The Bear. Could be wrong. And RIP Liam Payne. So sad. And then we went into other discussions around the mom talk Mormon wives influencers because
are you into pop culture?
Obsessed. Very much so. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Very much so.
Maybe
especially reality
maybe I'm
TV.
The weird one.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the weird one after all.
You might be. Or again, I think this still flows. Still flows. The fact that I have an opinion about who should be people's sexiest man of the year should tell you everything there is to know about me. Yeah, I actually have an opinion on that. Moving on, this from Burberry. Okay, I'm going to read a little bit of this. I won't get into the whole thing. You can go in and read her full cast here, but the bottom line was that Burfriends Poker Club was getting was applying for a Moxie retro grant and had to go through the KYC process. And there's a similar process for different grant applications. So OP has one also, and these can be kind of challenging because basically you're trying to let all the tech do it, and sometimes things don't work great, or they just become there's a lot of friction. So for this one, it was using Gate Knox, I assume like Fort Knox. And it was quite the process. She goes into the verify your identity. It included having to show your a utility bill and things like that. So it was pretty extensive. It also would not take a driver's license, which I thought that was odd. The other ones that I've done through Persona, I think is one for OP, does allow for a driver's license, but it was pretty extensive in terms of the process. So I think we're starting to see more of this, and it really relates to two things. One, the US sort of cracking down on a lot of things crypto and just all the issues we've had with the lovely Gary. And then two, crypto itself trying to regulate out the crazy spamming grifter folks. So that's been the primary driver for a lot of the KYC. And I know for a lot of people, this feels counterintuitive to crypto as a whole and sort of the anonymity of it all. But there's just, we can't be nothing nowhere. So some of these organizations do need to satisfy certain legal requirements, especially if they're in the US or have enough of a nexus to the US, it becomes challenging. So, but it feels like there should be some better ways. But hopefully with a lot of these things, you do it once. And then if you go up for something again, you don't have to go through that process again. So I do some of this with, Nouns Builder. This is my very diplomatic take. Yeah. I do some of this with Nouns Builder, and Nouns is in the process of maybe becoming a do know. There's going to be more of that like within the Nouns community. So I'm hearing a lot of discussions about KYCing and the issues around it. So, and with OP, OP was a big one. OP was because OP did some huge grants, and for one of those grants, we're still in the process of going through the KYC issue because one of the people on our multi-sig had a different, like her hairstyle's different. So her photo, you end up taking a photo and it has to match your ID, and it's like not matching because the hair color's different, the hairstyle's different, and it's becoming this huge problem. So yeah. So
I don't know. Yeah.
I've
seen some facial recognition that like literally like it is scary how good it can be in terms of seeing mass, when you see like the crowd of 10,000 people and it pulls out your face in a tiny little and can recognize you. So it's surprising to me hairstyles even matter or change. This is just like, it's a really gnarly topic to discuss, and Woofy's asking for the weird take.
Go ahead.
I'll give you just like it's not even going to be weird. It's just like I have no good answers, but it's really scary as someone like and by the way, and I've done this before, right? And I think it comes down to trust. And like look, I've seen there are big public companies in the US that are audited regularly and have all sorts of certifications that say they have good data privacy practices. And guess what? Your data is stolen and compromised at all times. So already I feel like I don't trust anyone with my data. And I certainly don't trust companies I've never heard of that are likely startups that don't have the infrastructure in place or the compliance or the audits to know what are you doing? Like, what are you doing with my passport? And what are you doing with my utility bill? And there's not, and again, it doesn't mean I haven't done it myself, but it doesn't feel good, and I don't trust it.
Yeah, we need better options. We need better options. I don't know. Is it the orb? Is it WorldCoin? I mean, is that better? I don't know. But then you're scanning your iris. I mean, I still haven't done that because of similar concerns. But I don't know I really don't know what the answer is. And it feels like we need better answers in the world of AI for sure.
Yeah, I think it's living
Because
off the grid. I think
yeah,
it's just becoming a Bitcoin maxi, living off the grid, getting your guns, being your own bank and fire department and police department. And oh, right. And here's
yeah,
fractal.id, which
yep,
had a data breach. Everybody gets data breached.
yep.
I casted about this actually recently. So just even this has nothing to do with crypto, but just in terms of like how often am I getting letters that says like your data has been leaked, and so I had to, went into the 3 credit agencies and like froze my credit. That's like the best I can do, which is like at least in terms of like I know my data's out there, go freeze my credit, no one can take it. Um and yet somehow the
So
world still spins
it
and
still
we're
spins.
still like I don't know.
So ZKTLS is what's being spammed in our chat. Um, so I do not know enough about this. I know that we know some people who are building on this, so maybe that is the answer. Maybe that is the solution. I don't know,
You don't know
but
enough about specific
I don't.
ZKTLS or zero knowledge as a concept.
I know zero knowledge as a concept, but go
Mhm.
ahead. Why don't you share what that is? But I don't know what
Why don't we bring
ZKTLS is.
DeWoofy on stage or
We really
Erica,
should.
his
Yeah.
spokesperson for the spokesperson?
They're better. They're better with this. But I do think that there's something there. There's definitely
Yes, it's
there's
proof
some
of
things in
something
the
without
process. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for sure. I think
I
there's
mean, imagine a
things that are happening.
KYC, right? It's
Yeah,
like a KYC once, and I have credentials now that I can share my credentials without having to
right,
do the KYC every time.
right. And we still need a safer. We still need a good KYC that we know can protect all that data. I do think this is where we're going. That hopefully it's a one time, it's connected with our wallets, and that's it. And the only thing is if your wallet gets compromised. So there's always something. Like what happens then?
That's
So
why we're living in the woods with our guns, Prof, so the wallets never get compromised, and we don't and we have lots of cold wallets, and we never connect them, and
we do everything
obviously
perfectly, right? Yes,
yeah.
blockchain does solve this actually. hopefully, hopefully it does. This might be the thing that it actually solves. All right, few more things before we wrap. We have this from Buoy. New search is now available for free. Today, we're excited to share Buoy search. Uh, I just love this video. It's lovely. It's
Um,
free. So there are some bonuses if you are a paid subscriber. I think that's how you get notifications, I believe.
are you a
So
paid
check out
subscriber?
Boy Club. I thought I was, but I'm not sure now. I have to go double check. But I
I
will be
bought
if I'm
6
not.
months. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
I'm not even sure I'm using any of the paid features, but if
I like
my
supporting
little
them anyway. Yeah.
yes, and if my money went to making amazing videos like this, you're welcome because I want more of them, and I'm
He does
happy to do
great.
that.
I do like his announcements. P Fista. I know the P is silent, but I will never say it that way. And this from OX Luo. Recently, Bluesky gained over 1 million new users, bringing the total to over 12 million, with a DAU hitting an all-time high. That's daily active users hitting an all-time high of over 1.5 million. This growth likely followed the surge after X was banned in Brazil and 2 key changes on Twitter, allowing blocked users to view posts from public accounts and permitting third-party AI developers to use private user data. If users are unhappy with these changes, they would typically seek alternatives at the client level. However, since Twitter isn't an open, decentralized protocol, there are no alt clients. Farcaster fixes this. Prompting users to turn to perceived decentralized platforms. This shows that the narrative of decentralizing platforms providing more control and autonomy still resonates, attracting those seeking greater freedom of speech and privacy protections. When might those leaving Twitter consider joining Farcaster? Okay.
Well,
Yeah. This is very interesting because we had this conversation before when the whole Brazil of it all happened. And I did feel like that was a moment where we had an opportunity to maybe, capture some of that audience, and that audience that wasn't taken. Um, and once again, here we are. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, no one's gonna come to Farcaster if they don't know it exists,
Yeah. So we need to tell the
and
people.
yeah,
So we're gonna do
um,
our part, but you guys do a little bit too. That'd be helpful.
maybe if
Um,
Merkel just did a little bit of marketing, we
just a
wouldn't
smidge.
be just a little
Just a
bit, we
smidge.
wouldn't be here.
Just a smidge. Just a little, just a little like, hey, instead of blue sky, try us. Um, but I think that honestly, those who are leaving for those reasons are probably more likely to go to blue sky. Like they're unlikely to use something that's like the crypto of it all isn't going to be interesting to them, is my guess, but I could be wrong. I think with the Brazil situation, it was a little different because it was a much broader audience. For this one, it feels a little bit more limited to the cultural aspects of Blue Sky. Like it's going to be a better fit. I don't know, but I could be wrong. But I think with Brazil, there was a broader opportunity to sort of at least grab those who are in crypto or might appreciate crypto rails, and just make sure they were aware about here we are. So anyway,
Yeah, I
um,
understand. I mean, we'll talk this
yeah,
to death, but I
I know.
understand Dan's take of like
I do
marketing
too.
is like until you have product market fit, there's nothing to market, and um, so I kind of understand that, but I also feel like why is Farcaster is Twitter except with a guarantee that you own like you own your identity and social graph and can avoid lock in. Like, why is that not enough of product market fit? It was,
Yeah,
it just for someone who is not happy with Twitter and it's like, I want to
right.
do a lift and shift. So, like Farcaster as it is feels like good enough for that character of person, which
I
was me
agree.
2 years ago. Why not? There's
Yeah.
people like that. And so,
I agree.
um,
I think there's exceptions to I overall agree with Dan's take right now and what you're saying, but I do think there's these exceptions to the rule, and these feel like those exceptions. These moments where something's happening, something's shifting, people are actively searching for an alternative. At least let them know we're here.
yeah,
That's all. That's all.
very,
By
very
the way, I
reasonable
just have
take.
to I have to shout this out because Dewoofi, I see you. I know what you're talking about. And that was really funny.
Wait,
Hot take,
what is he
paying for your
talking
friends.
about?
I'll tell you this. Hot take, paying for your friends' products because you like them is long-term harmful and selfish to make yourself feel good instead of providing honest feedback. I think I saw somebody else mention something like that elsewhere. Something that moved from base to Solana, and I'll just leave it at that. So there you go.
Okay. I don't know
Yeah.
that. Obviously, he was talking about Buoy and me saying I'm paying for
Yes.
Buoy because I like
Yes.
because we want to support them, but we don't actually use their product. I thought maybe he's also talking about all of our hypersub subscribers who, but I will actually say that in our case, paying for our hypersub is the same thing. Like you can pay for our hypersub to make yourself feel good. That is product market fit. That's exactly what we want you to do because I think that's like the NPR model. It's like you don't actually have to pay. You get it. We give you benefits too, but
We do.
I just think more people. It's like the cheapest drug you can take.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our hypersub. Feel good. Everybody wins.
Just feel good. Yeah, so I think there's but seriously though, when somebody's launching something new, I think underneath the little bit of snark and subtweet, if you will, is the thought that like yes, you still do need to provide some feedback, not just say, "Hey, everything looks great." I get it when it's something new. So I do agree with that part. Um,
Okay. And maybe there's confirmation in the chat that there was a little subcontext
Oh, I
about
know. I knew exactly what it was referring to. There was no doubt in my mind I knew what it was referring to. Stream with benefits. Exactly.
but enough about that other product. Let's talk about GM Farcaster more.
Let's go back
Let's talk
to
about
this.
us.
Actually, let's talk about Icebreaker. So this
Yeah,
is
let's
from
do it.
J4CK, Jack. I'm building Icebreaker with Web 3PM and Team. This was posted in the Arena, by the way, the professional network where you meet exceptional people. So Mega Week successfully imported 8,000 contacts to Icebreaker using the new LinkedIn ZKTLS ingestion with 4 team members and 2 external users. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Launched mini app experience within open source Icebreaker fame, ingested all Farcaster Twitter verifications, so they're now returned in the Icebreaker API, launched email notifications for connection requests and endorsements, use DC if FC account is present, otherwise use email, and then added direct cast notification upon successful Farcaster account linking. So I should have had this when we were talking about Burberry's cast regarding proof of humanity, essentially, and KYC, because Icebreaker is also trying to tackle this problem where hopefully you can at least use this to not only connect with people, but also via ZKTLS, be able to prove your humanity. So very cool. Love this. It was amazing. So great job, Icebreaker team. A couple more fun things here. This from me on base. Someday, a new pyramid unlocked. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Farcaster style. A follow from Dan, basic needs. A mention on GM Farcaster, also part of basic needs. Psychological needs, $5 USDC, and your cast is trending notif. And then self-fulfillment needs is a boost. So there you go. I love this. Very creative. And also this from me on base, quoting Heavyweight, not enough interesting content. Yeah, right. And this is, please enjoy this knowledge graph about potatoes I made. Non-exhaustive. Like, so my question, since Heavyweight is in the chat, if she's still there, why?
Why ask why? Obviously, she loves potatoes.
People just have to think bigger. Think potato. Okay. I also love potatoes, but okay. This was really funny from Supernon. Hello, everyone. I'd like to anonymously share my problem. I'm too tall, too handsome, too strong, too smart, and well, too perfect. Girls don't want to get to know me because they think I'm out of their league. What should I do? Most of the replies were quite snarky. Yours was like a little combination of good advice and snark, and I thought it was good. Lose your main character energy, show just a teeny amount of curiosity about someone else, and see what happens. Which actually,
with my heart, with a little heart emoji,
advice. With a little heart emoji to soften the blow. I had lots of things I was going to say, like also that mostly involved trying to guess who it was, but I thought that might get too mean, so I decided not to.
I mean, I had like 3 people pop in my head immediately. So,
but also it's probably none
say?
of them, and it's probably just somebody being funny. So,
yeah.
Anyway, this from Steve Dylan. Steve, why do I always pronounce this wrong? Steve Dylan Dev. I always want to like make it fancy. Introducing Candy Road. Sell your files in a frame. Sign in with Farcaster or your wallet. Create a frame with a cover, file, and price. Share on Farcaster for users to purchase in frame. Purchases are direct crypto transfers on base, no additional fees. Buyer will receive a DC with the frame where they can redeem the file whenever they want to. And that was pretty cool. So if you have something that is a file that you are selling, this might be really good for folks who do design work and things like that, and they're transferring files. Very cool. Or consulting reports, various things. Or it could be images. So very cool.
I'm obsessed with this.
Are you really? Okay.
Yes. When I just saw this, I was by myself in my house giving him the slow clap. And I was just, I just think it was one. I love that this came from like a DWR, like someone build.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay. Someone build.
I have to give a little shout out because this is the Pinata team and we still love you.
And they built it. And I actually kind of stepped through the flow, and it's really simple. It's just so simple. Here's
Very cool.
you can pay with crypto. They charge, there's like a fee to kind of upload and like a one-time fee to put your file up. Pay with crypto, upload a file, set a few things, boom, here's a frame, share it on your feed, and people can buy buy your content.
Very
It's
easy.
it was just really well done, and I don't know, I was very
Lots of
impressed, and I like
possibilities.
the
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Very nice flow. So great job. Love Candy Road. So there you go.
Should we call him
And I
like,
said,
how about Stevie Landev?
Stevie Landon. I don't know. We need a better name for you. I don't know.
Steve de
It's
Landev?
Steve. It's Steve. I think it's Steve Dylan Dev.
Dylan, of course.
Yeah. Steve Dylan
But
Dev. I know, but I want to say it in such a
Stevie
weird
Landev.
way. I know, Steve Dylan Dev. But anyway, but we love it. We do love it. Moving on, a couple more things that we are running a smidge long, but this I wanted to share from Adrian. GM, happy weekend, everyone. Loving this Cat Town moshicam photo with a photo from my nature walk. And it was really cute. Ooh, is it going to come up? It may not come up for me. Oh, I'm not logged in. It's not going to come up. Damn it.
And I have some feedback for the Warpcast devs. In my cast preview, it showed the moshicam frame opened. And I guess because when I added the YouTube link, it was still showing. It just showed and this is not what I wanted, what you're seeing here.
I know. So actually, this is a better reason to actually talk about this. Yeah, when you add more than one embed, it's still minimizing it. So even though I think they said it wasn't going to do that anymore, it still is. So I always add the links in a separate cast, like in the replies, which I don't like, but hopefully we can fix that. That would be lovely. I'm not going to show that. I am going to talk about that in 1 second.
Also, there was not that much news today, and we said 29 minutes, and we're going 45 minutes, and
I know it's 2 more things. We do suck. This is the FM button has been activated sometime during On-Chain Summer 24. The FM button activated. Listen whenever you want. So if you put FM in, start your cast with FM, it now adds the FM React. So there you go. Very cute. And somebody else had cast, and I forgot to pull it. They casted about Reacts and saying that those will be the true OGs. And of course, I threw some noggles on there, but also we do have a GM reaction, and I appreciate that Dan created that just for GM Farcaster. It's really
thank you, Marco. We appreciate the recognition and
the recognition of all our hard work. And last thing, this Saturday poll from Adrian, please give yourself a few moments to think before answering. Would having more money make you happier? And let's see if we can pull the poll up. 86% said yes, it would.
Yes.
So that is unsurprising.
Either knows something that the rest of the world doesn't know. Or
unsurprising there. I think there's been studies where you hit a certain limit as to whether or not it will increase your happiness. It's somewhere around like 75,000 for a single person, and then like 150,000 for a married couple, and then after that you get diminishing returns. But I'm always willing to experiment on that. So I feel that. It's just like when they say, if you won the lottery, would you really be happy? And I'm like, you know what? Let me try it. Let me just try it just in case. You never know. You never know. I might be the exception to the rule. So, but with that, anything else that I missed, Adrian?
But you're happy now. You have happiness. Like, so
I have lots of happiness. I don't need millions and millions of dollars, but also I definitely am happier when I'm not, back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, when I have some economic security. It does change. Like, so we're talking about levels here. Like when your base needs aren't satisfied and you're worrying about how you're paying rent and how you're buying food, you're not gonna, you just can't think about anything else. So you do need those base needs satisfied. So for many in the world, that is not necessarily the case. So it just depends on where you are. But you know.
It was a fun, and by the way, and I asked that question not because I have like authority or care. I just like to hear how people think through things, and there was good comments in the replies as well. So
Love it. All right, and with that, it's been a pleasure. And it has been a thorough and wonderful GMFC. Have a beautiful Monday. Look for more coming from us later today with some clips of what we have coming on Wednesday. And then Wednesday morning, we'll be back at 8:30 a.m. Eastern with more GM Farcaster. On Wednesday afternoon at 3 p.m., we'll have our first couple episodes, modules of Farcaster 101, as well as some office hours. And we'll be posting more about that. And then Thursday, I'm actually going to be on, thought I was going to be on 2 Twitter spaces. One got moved. I'm going to be on a Twitter space with Naomi, talking about NFTs and DAOs. So that'll be fun. And with that, whoops, scarcity mindset. Okay. Yes, true. Scarcity mindset it is. That does make a huge difference in your belief systems. Thank you, GM Farcaster. I'm going to go sell my feet pics in a frame now. All right, cool. Good luck with that.
And this is why, like, and we don't all have to see feet pics because it's an opt-in. So this is product market fit. Thank you,
There you go.
Steve and Dev.
There you go.
I don't have to see Riccardo's feet.
Yeah, you can go sell those pics now. Good luck to you. Didn't even think, by the way, did not think of that use case until Mika just let us know about that. So thanks for that.
Is this the not safe for work? Is this going to be the not safe for work epic?
I honestly didn't even think of that use case whatsoever. What the? God, there we go. And there it is. It always finds a way. And with that, have a lovely day, everybody. And we will see you Wednesday.